Good evening, everyone. Hi. Today, we are so happy to have you all join us for Binghamton University's President Week sessions and learning more about our career clusters. My name is Christiana Friedrichsen. I'm one of our admissions counselors, and I'm joined today with a lot of staff ready to talk to you today and student presence as well. And I'll hand it over to them so they can start introducing themselves. Go ahead, Erica.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is Erica Christ, and I'm the Senior Associate Director of the Fleischman Center for Career and Professional Development. So that's the career center that serves all Binghamton University students, both undergraduates and graduate students. And I'm excited to be here tonight to talk to you about our career clusters. And Jenny, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Jenny, and I'm a sophomore here at Binghamton and also working at the Fleischman Center as a senior peer consultant, where I work with fellow students to with professional development and other career development resources. And I'll talk more about my student experience here at Binghamton a little bit later after the slides.
Thank you both. So while we get our presentation booted up for you to see on the screen, I just wanted to take care of a little bit of housekeeping. So we are so excited to answer your questions today, and we are not going to be using the chat function. We will be using the Q&A function. So you can find that at the bottom of your screen. There's two speech bubbles and it says Q&A. Myself and my colleague, Justin Brim, he's another admissions counselor, will be answering questions in the background. So be sure to use the Q&A function to get your question answered. All right. So as you can see, this beautiful picture up here is, if you haven't been able to join us on campus, that is our admissions center in the spring. So you can kind of see a little bit of taste of campus for you there. And we hope to have you on campus joining us very, very soon. And to get started, to give you kind of an introduction to Binghamton, if you don't know already, a little bit about our students and our population. So we have about 14,000 undergraduate students, kind of that mid-sized institution, not too big, not too small. And about 92% of our first year students do come back for that second year. So our first year students then become sophomores, about 92% of them. And then our 88% transfer student retention rate. So we are very transfer friendly. I myself was a transfer student, and that's the second year retention rate for those transfer students as well. So our students, like us, they feel at home on campus and feel supported for sure. And so you may have heard this, some of our accolades. We are a #1 New York public university. We're part of the SUNY system, the State University of New York. So you see that underneath our name there. And we do have a lot of accolades throughout the years, Public Ivy, Premier Public, and we have a lot of different things that go into making us #1, from our professors, our facilities, all the different ways that we help support our students and the outcomes that our students are able to go on to do as alumni, as professionals, all of the support that we can give our students while they are current students. So that gives you just a little bit of a taste of us. I'm going to hand it over to Erica now to get started with this session. Remember, put all of your questions in the Q&A. Thanks so much.
All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about science and healthcare and our career clusters here at Binghamton. All right, so what is a career cluster? So here at Binghamton, we have a model where students can connect with a career cluster, which is a grouping of similar career paths developed to help you easily access information, people, and resources to help you explore interests and opportunities related to that field. So pretty cool concept overall. Students can sign up on our website and select which career clusters they're interested in, and then they will automatically be connected to information, jobs, internships, events that are happening on campus, programs like this that are related to that career cluster. So it's a really great way for students to see what's happening in their fields, to be connected to potential opportunities that they want to apply to, but also just a way to learn more about the fields that you're interested in. So for science and healthcare specifically, it's an opportunity to see what are my options in the field of healthcare. What can I do that's both practitioner based, but also in the healthcare industry more generally? Maybe you're thinking about pursuing a major in a science field like biology or chemistry or physics. What can I do with that major? So the career clusters are here to help you explore. The cool thing is, as an incoming student and throughout your time, you could select all of them to get information about. You could select one or two that you want to receive information about. So it really is customizable based on what career areas you want to explore and learn more about. So the science and healthcare career cluster, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit more closely about tonight. Career clusters help you understand that major does not equal career. So there's definitely a lot of pressure, I think, to like pick your major, have you picked your major. If you're about to graduate, you've probably already gotten a lot of questions from your family about, but what are you going to major in? Major is definitely important, provides you with a lot of knowledge and very specific knowledge, specific skills, but that major doesn't always directly connect to one career option. There are many career options that you can explore based on your major. So the career clusters are here to help you do that. So for science and healthcare, some of the career opportunities that you could learn more about are careers that utilize strong math, science, and analytical skills, as well as an interest potentially in helping others or contributing to kind of scientific research. So some common fields that students might go into in this area: pharmaceuticals, pharmaceutical research and development, medicine, nursing. So some of those areas that you might be most familiar with or that easily come to mind when you think about healthcare. Public health, scientific research, working for a research organization like the NIH or the CDC, but also areas like conservation and environmental science. So there are a lot of different areas that you can explore within science and healthcare. There are some majors that are maybe more closely connected to science and healthcare. A really obvious one would be nursing, right? So if you are a nursing major, it's very likely that you will pursue a career as a nurse, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other opportunities that you could pursue with that degree as well as graduate school, as well as professional school that could come after that too. So you have a lot of different options. Some of the closely connected majors mentioned there, anthropology, biology, chemistry, integrated neuroscience, geological sciences, as well as we have lots of students who are majoring in things maybe that you don't think of when you think of science and healthcare, like social work or human development, math. But those fields can easily connect to career opportunities in science and healthcare. Something else that the career clusters help connect you to are opportunities that are available right now. So through the career clusters, students are connected with jobs and internships that are being posted on HireBang by Handshake, which is our job and internship posting site that all Binghamton University students have access to. So students can go in anytime and search for jobs and internships that are available. Once a student signs up for a career cluster, they're going to be on a weekly basis connected with jobs and internships that are being posted right now in Handshake that are specifically focused on science and healthcare, which is pretty awesome. There's also, and you can check this out after, and I'll make sure that this link gets out there as well. You can go right on to our webpage now. You have access to this even as a non-Binghamton University student. You can go on the science and healthcare career page and you'll see all those jobs and internships. You'll see resources and lots of other information. So these are some employers that have postings right now for students: New York Presbyterian, Naval Nuclear Laboratory, Horizon Health Services, Northwell Health. I just worked with a student looking for opportunities at the NYU hospital. So there's a lot of different employers to connect with through Binghamton. And you can see some examples on there as well of some different internship opportunities that might be available. So being a chemist or a staff scientist or working in soil conservation. There's also opportunities with the EPA and summer internships and things like that. The other opportunity to continue to develop your interest in these areas is to join student organizations. So there are a ton of clubs and orgs at Binghamton. I'm sure Jenny might even tell you about like some of her campus involvement when she shares a little bit. But there are lots of clubs and orgs at Binghamton that can help further connect you to your career interests and help you explore those interests. And these are listed on our career cluster pages as well. So things like the American Red Cross Club at Binghamton, the Charles Drew Minority Pre-Health Society, BU Science, the Microbiology Club. There's lots of other ones as well. And what these clubs do is they don't just host social events, they also host a lot of educational opportunities, networking opportunities, ways to connect with alumni, as well as juniors and seniors who might already have some experience that you can learn from. So it's a great way to connect with both your peers as well as a professional network. The website I mentioned where you can go and learn more about the Science and Healthcare Career Cluster or any of our career clusters is listed here. It's careertools.binghamton.edu. So you can go on to this page now and select Career Cluster and just use the drop-down menu and select the one that you want to learn more about. And you'll see tailored resources for your career cluster, weekly updates with events and things like that that are happening on campus. I should also mention that there is a career cluster called Exploring. So if you're not sure, or maybe you're thinking science and healthcare is one option, but I still want to see what else is going on, join both, and you'll be connected to opportunities to help you further explore your interests. Another great resource we have on our website is the ability to search through our alumni data to see the outcomes that our alumni have, the opportunities and jobs and internships they've pursued after graduation. So again, on that career tools page, that website I just mentioned, if you click outcomes, you can search for information on our alumni from the last 3 years based on major. So here's an example of what it would look like if you selected nursing. So you're going to be able to see what are some of the position titles that graduates from the nursing program have, as well as where do they go on to pursue additional education, perhaps a nurse practitioner program, as well as some salary information. So it's showing you the salary range there that are graduates. So this is right out of college. This isn't data for students who have been graduated for 5-10 years. It's just the 2017 through 2019 classes of Binghamton. So that's another great place if you're considering a couple of different options for a major, you can go explore more there. We also have a lot of video resources that you can connect to on this website. So this is, we have a video on demand library, again, on that career tools page, right on the science and healthcare page that's constantly being populated with new videos related to careers in science and healthcare. So some of our videos are ones that we produce. We interview a lot of our alumni. We do live lunch interviews with alums on Instagram Live, and you can check those out. And we also interview alumni about their fields more in depth. So you can watch all of those videos. There's also a great resource on our website called Candid Career. And if you want to explore a variety of career paths, and there are a few of them here, sports medicine, medical scribe, certified surgical technician. So if you wanted to get a glimpse into these different career options, you can connect to a resource called Candid Career right on our website and watch interviews, short interviews with people in I think probably almost every profession you could think about is available in Candid Career to explore more. So if you're thinking about different options within science and healthcare, I would encourage you to search by that industry and you can see what kind of options are available. Another great resource that's part of the career clusters is the ability to connect with our alumni. So we have a platform called Mentor Match that helps connect alumni and students, and you can search through this database of alumni based on career clusters, so you can see who's out there in science and healthcare, what are they doing, and who could I connect with to maybe interview them about their career or shadow or just learn more about what is it like to be a physician's assistant. You know, what would my day-to-day look like as a chemist? So students can go on to this platform called Mentor Match, and like I mentioned, search by career cluster to find alumni that they can talk to. You can also search for alumni on LinkedIn, and this is something you can do now, even not as a student. Go to the Binghamton University page on LinkedIn and click on alumni, and you can search through the roughly 95,000 alumni that are on there based on what they majored in, what they do, where they live, and where they work. So that's a really great resource as well to continue exploring your interests. So now I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and I am going to turn it over to Jenny. Jenny's going to talk a little bit about her experience as a student and some of the things that she's been involved in as they relate to also science and healthcare. So take it away, Jenny.
Thank you. Okay, hi everyone. So my name's Jenny, and like I said before, I'm a sophomore here at Binghamton, and I'm currently studying psychology and minoring in health and wellness studies. So we have a bunch of different majors and minors, and as you can see, that psychology is not really the first major that you think of when you think of science and healthcare, but any career or any major can be worked into. If you enjoy the major, it can be worked into your whatever you aspire to be in the future. And I think Binghamton also has a lot of different clubs and organizations that help you with that. So currently, as I said, I'm working at the Fleischman Center as a senior peer consultant, but also, I guess, because Binghamton is so large, there are so many different clubs that you can kind of explore. I know freshman year, I tried a bunch of different clubs. I think I was in rowing for a semester, and it was just really fun. It wasn't for me, but it was really fun to kind of do all that exploring. And this semester, I'm a part of, what am I part of? I'm a part of the Women's Network here at Binghamton University, which is kind of a network where kind of passionate and driven women can get together and kind of motivate each other to kind of chase their dreams. And I'm also a part of the pre-physical therapy and occupational therapy club, which is a club that kind of is a pre-professional club where kind of Erica talked about this before. There are kind of bonding events, but there are also professional events where we help each other work on resumes and talk about shadowing opportunities, and kind of a mix of bonding and professional work. And I'm also a part of some multicultural clubs like the Asian Student Union and the Philippine American League. So you kind of see that there are so many different clubs at Binghamton where you can explore what you want to do professionally. And you can also explore kind of cultural clubs in different organizations. And kind of more on the academic side, I'm also a research assistant at the Institute of Child Development. And what's really cool is that the Institute is actually on the Binghamton campus. And due to COVID, I can't really go in and do research at the moment, but everything is kind of virtual. But I'm working in the autism lab as an undergrad research assistant. So as you can see, there's so many different options for you here, for you to, whether you want to explore your own profession. I know there's a bunch of pre-professionals such as pre-PA, nursing associations. So as long as you reach out and find it, it'll be there for you. And maybe you can guess from the clubs that I'm in, but I aspire to be an occupational therapist. And that's kind of like in case anyone doesn't know what that is, it's like a holistic profession that kind of combines psychology and also physical health. It's almost like physical therapy, but it also focuses more on mental wellness and kind of getting someone back on their feet, not just through physical help, but also kind of guiding them mentally through that. And I guess that's my long-term goal. My short-term goals is kind of just getting through the semester and finding support to kind of get through the semester while also worrying about continuing my career as a aspiring OT. And that's kind of where Fleischman comes in. They helped me a lot. Even before, the reason I started working there was because I felt so drawn to the staff there, both the student and professional staff. I remember coming in as a freshman, like so many other freshmen, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was like, I kind of like psychology, but I kind of want to do something medical and I wasn't sure. And I felt really reassured after meeting with Fleischman staff and taking, I think, career advising appointments. And we have so many resources for career exploration, like personality tests. And through kind of all of that, my first and second semesters, I kind of landed on what I wanted to do. And even though I decided, I still continuously go back to Fleischmann. I interned with them as well, and they continuously guide me to also help with my professional tools, my resumes, my cover letters, everything that I'll need to kind of continue my journey, not only through college, but also in the future as hopefully an OT. So yeah, we have so many resources for you, both online and person to person, not in person for now. But yeah, I hope you guys consider Binghamton.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you, Erica. Those were wonderful. The presentation was great, and I loved hearing about your experiences, Jenny. I was also in the Institute for Child Development, so I loved hearing about how that was going now, especially with COVID. And we've had a couple questions from students about the impact of that and research and things like that. So it's great to hear that you are still doing some of those. You're in the autism lab and things like that. So it's good to hear. I'm sure students are excited to hear that those things are still happening. So I was just wanting to look through a couple questions. We still have a couple minutes here. We've got some great questions, by the way. Thank you to our attendees for keeping myself and Justin busy. All right. So I did have a question specific to this session about the career clusters. One of our students wants to know if there is a certain way that students get accepted into this career cluster program, or does a student just choose and automatically join the program?
Yeah, that's a great question. So students can just choose and join the program. So every student has access to sign up for a career cluster and get access to information and use the resources. And this is something that we really want all Binghamton University students to do. I think being connected to career information is really important for all students. So hopefully this is a really easy way to get those updates about what's happening in your career field and further kind of explore your interests and connect to like opportunities for internships and jobs.
Awesome, thank you so much. I look a little distracted, but I'm just looking at all of these awesome questions. So there's a little bit about alumni and things like that that we'll touch on, but this one, maybe you can speak on a little bit. What percentage of students are either employed or in graduate school after graduation?
You're putting me on the spot. We have really high rates of students who are employed and or attend graduate school, and I don't want to misquote them. So I think it's we survey all students as they graduate. So we survey our seniors before they graduate, and then 6 months out. Within 6 months after graduation, I think for the class of 2019, it was 77% were employed, if that was their intention to be employed. And of the students who had intended to go to graduate school, 92% were in graduate school. So the rates with which students are employed are really high. And then the other thing I'll tout a little bit is the salary data. So Binghamton students earn, I think in the last data, it was like $7,000 above the national average for college graduates for salaries in their immediately after graduation. So something else to celebrate too, but yeah, we have good outcome. Exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Good is an understatement. That's awesome. And I didn't know the rate going into graduate school. So that is so cool to hear. You said 92%?
Yeah, and about a third of all Binghamton students plan to pursue graduate school or professional school after graduation. And I mean, from that stat, right? Like they're pretty successful doing it. So that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I did have another one. Can a student join the career cluster as a junior in high school?
Unfortunately, no. No, you could still access all the information. So if you go to careertools.binghamton.edu, you can still look at the career cluster pages. You can see the update. They're updated almost daily with new information. So you can go through there and access all that information. You're not going to receive email updates or anything like that, but those pages are open so anyone can see them.
Awesome. That is so good for the students to know. Thank you. We are definitely coming down to the wire as far as time. I am going to ask my colleague Justin to start putting some resources in the chat for our attendees. So an email so you can get in touch with us, as well as different links and stuff for you to continue asking us questions, because unfortunately we won't get to them all. But thank you everybody for asking all of these amazing questions. I know I had one more, at least. What resources does Binghamton have to help students build something like a LinkedIn account or help students network?
Jenny could probably speak to this one a lot. So we do have a lot of great resources available for to help students create that LinkedIn page, to talk about networking and like how to approach networking. And then we work with students one-on-one on their LinkedIn pages. So a student can schedule an appointment to meet with myself, one of our career consultants to meet with Jenny, or one of our amazing student staff, to have them review that page and give them feedback on it, because we really do want our students to have like high quality profiles that attract employers or help them build connections with networks.
Thank you, Erica. Jenny, did you want to add anything? We've got your expertise here, and we'd love to hear from you if you had something else to add.
I can add my perspective as a student, because I think definitely before working here, even working here, I'm going to continuously make appointments. But I remember making a LinkedIn appointment actually with one of the staff members, and he was so helpful. He this was when COVID hit already, so he screen shared, went every step by step down my entire profile. And we also have those same networking appointments where you kind of get tips on how to network, how to do like informational interviews, all of that. So it was really, really helpful, even just as a student myself. So it was I really find the appointments useful.
Awesome. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Jenny.
much, Jenny. So we are running out of time a little bit. We did have one more, a little bit about career services. So the last question, do we offer mock interviews?
I can let Jenny take this one. Yes, we do. We do offer mock interviews. We base them on what the student is interviewing for. So if you are interviewing for graduate school, for medical school, for a job in research, for a job in any sector, we ask for that information and we tailor our questions based on that industry. So it should give you some initial interview practice to help get you started. And then we also have some really great online resources students can use to practice on their own. So we have a resource called Big Interview that, again, they can select the type of interview that they're going to have, and it asks them questions, it records their responses, it gives them AI feedback on their interview. So it gives them automatic feedback, which is really great to help students build their interviewing skills, since it's so important to be able to articulate how amazing you are when you're in an interview setting. So we want students to be able to practice that as much as possible.
Awesome, thank you. That was something I didn't know about as far as the AI goes. Jenny, did you have any experience with any mock interviews? Anything you wanted to touch on?
I actually have not had any experience with the mock interviews, but I can kind of throw in a little plug for interviews, because something really cool that Fleischman does is we have interview suites, because sometimes maybe your suite is loud, you can't find a quiet place. And right there, you can book a room for however long you need period of time. And it's a place for you to kind of be professional. It's very quiet for you to do your interviews. So that's a cool thing.
Thanks, Jenny. Yeah, and we are still making those available to students during this time. So even though we're not, like Jenny mentioned, meeting in person with students right now, we're meeting via Zoom. Students can still reserve our interview rooms and use them for interviews. And yeah, we've had students who need them for day-long interviews, so they're just in that room the whole day, but we have those spaces available for students so they have a professional, quiet space.
Thank you both for touching on that subject, and to know that these resources are still available, even now when we're doing remote and things like that in a not so normal world. It's good to know that those are still available. Well, we have gone over time now, but thank you so much to our panelists, Erica and Jenny. We really appreciate you having your time with us here today. And for our attendees, I am so sorry if we didn't answer your question. Be sure to go in the chat. Justin has put in some different links and contact information. So if you do have remaining questions, let us know. We would love to help you with those. Thank you to everybody joining us today with your awesome questions. And thank you to Justin for helping us out. Yes, I see all of the thank yous in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us today at Binghamton University. Take care, everybody, and have a great night.